think really New York embodies spontaneity. It really can be whatever you want it to be. I think it's a whirlwind of everything in one place. If there's something you're looking for, there's a space for you in New York, and there's a place for that to kind of continue to grow. Yeah, without New York City, I wouldn't be making the work that I make. New York City is the place where I first started to see. My name is Gabriel Rivera. I'm a 27-year-old photo maker out of Brooklyn, focusing on darkroom printing and bringing your negatives to life. That's what I'm about right now. I've been here for 5 years now, and I feel super indebted to the space, the people, all of it. I think that when you're here and you start to really be a part of New York City versus kind of being tossed in it, trying to find your way, I think that there's a power that comes with that as well, because you're just open to so much more and exposed to so much more. Yeah, it has everything to do with how I shoot. It's, I think, the reason why I still do it in many ways, you know, is the environment that I'm in. And yeah, I think the aesthetic is awareness, like just awareness of life happening around me. You know, I think that I want my photos to communicate the space that I take up in the world while simultaneously seeing the world change around me. And I'm a believer that the things you see in your daily life is like, that's meant for you. So if you're making photos of these things, those are very special and sacred moments that you should really hold on to. Going too far. Ooh, that light is soft right now. It's nice. We can keep walking if you want. Let's do it. I moved here in 2016, 2017. I really started jumping into developing my own film, processing my own film, mainly all black and white. That is a decision that was made, I guess, a year after I moved here. I was living in the Bronx at the time, and I was in a basement I was renting out from some friends. I found someone on Craigslist who was selling their darkroom setup, and they were moving to LA, so they couldn't take it with them. And I remember taking the train to Greenpoint and then getting an Uber back to the Bronx with all this stuff, you know, enlarger, chemicals, everything you could think of, paper, and not having the slightest idea of how to use any of it. I could see it in my mind, but I couldn't get to that end result, you know, and so I knew that I would have to just start to teach myself. I remember being on YouTube and searching for anything darkroom related, and an ILFORD video actually came up where they went through the process of making the test strip and, you know, measuring out the chemicals. And to get started, it's just understanding the components and then trial and error. Like, you're not gonna knock your first print out of the park, you know, and I don't think that's the goal either. I think it's really about now you are altering everything yourself and in real time. I still have the first contact sheet I made, and it's a roll that I shot of a friend of mine in Harlem. And I remember FaceTiming him afterwards and be like, yo, look at this, like, check this out, you know? And I just remember that feeling so vividly because, I mean, everybody speaks about this, but the first time that you see your paper start to come out, you know, and the exposure start to show up on the paper, the emotion, that was a special moment for me, especially being in that, you know, in the basement in the Bronx. Early on, before I started really trying to refine more of this, I think those moments are the sweetest, you know. You know, if I look at this in the water and it looks really nice, then I kind of have to dial it back a little bit in order to actually get that when it dries. So sometimes like I'll go and take a blow dryer to these and get a sense of what it's actually gonna look like when it fully dries. But yeah, actually, I really like both, now that I'm looking at them. I think there's something about the richness and the darkness here, and this just has a little bit more of a balance of both versus kind of, you know, more on this scale of darkness this one is. I've been working at a community darkroom here for a couple months now. This place is absolutely amazing. You know, this place came at a time in my photo making and also my printing where it was time to kind of dial it in a little more and have more space and be able to take more time with the work and make sure that it goes through the proper steps. So in many ways, I'm indebted to this space and to Rachel because she's continuing to allow me to expand how I'm seeing.
Yeah, this one came out amazing. And I like the choice to have the raw. It's really nice.
So shout out to y'all's holders.
Yeah.
That's the holder I was looking for.
It's funny because they all look slightly different.
Yeah,
it's like you have the one that you like, you know?
Yeah. I look for the things that draw me in, but oftentimes, you know, my work surrounds Black and brown people. I feel like when I'm on the street, there's an acute awareness for those people and how they interact in the world and how they move in the world. And you know, I try to walk with an awareness of everything that's around me, but I feel like those are the things that draw me in, are those people and their experiences and the experiences that we may share. And the ones that we don't as well. That's how I'm able to continue to expand as a person and figure out life, you know. And this is Elijah. This is my good friend Elijah. I met him at Washington Square Park. This kid, he just dances. This is what this kid is about. He just moves. He would always come hug and embrace me when he saw me because it almost, you know, was like, man, a familiar face, you know, and in many ways, you know, I don't know why he was at the park all the time dancing. I'm sure he has his own things that he's dealing with in life. And this was one of the first photos I made on a 28 millimeter. I kind of had this vision of him in front of the trees, and I knew that I would shoot kind of wide open, and you know, it would do this beautiful rendering of the out of focus part. And he always has his headphones in like this, and he always has his pick in his hair. So in a lot of ways, it's kind of like his essentials. This is the first time I printed it on fiber paper. So all the other times have been on RC and have, you know, just kind of been, I guess, test prints up until now, but this is like, I can really feel it in myself that like, wow, I'm really proud of this piece. It feels really good. This one's a little bit of an anomaly because I would never bring my medium format camera to Coney Island. I just felt like I'd be missing too many moments, you know, on the boardwalk or on the beach if I had to lug a big camera around, and I was shooting 35 for a while, which was really freeing at the time. But this day, I was there with a friend of mine. Yeah, I had my RZ, that was the only camera I brought that day. And we basically we did a route where we would go down the boardwalk, then up the beach, back down the boardwalk and keep going, and then we would alternate it depending on how the light was hitting the subjects. So obviously we're on the beach here at this point, and I saw these two women enjoying, you know, the beach, and it's like these moments are all just happening. Like you can't plan to meet certain people, you can't plan to, you know, to do this. You know, I think you can have the intention, but you're never really gonna fully know. So I just remember bumping into them, and you know, I think they just caught my eye, and I felt something, and then you have to like make that decision on, are you gonna act on it or are you just gonna walk away again? And yeah, I just remember asking them politely if I could take a photo of them, that I thought that they looked beautiful. I love the way her head is tilted here. There's a confidence in both of them as well. They made a decision to come out and have time for themselves. And for some reason I was supposed to see that too and solidify that. So this is a beautiful one. And we're using ILFORD MG Classic glossy fiber to 11 by 14. Cool. I'm very much into, journaling, and yeah, I have like this need to like expound on the things that I see or the things that I feel, and sometimes you don't even know why you're writing the things down that you do and why you make the photos of stuff that you do. You just have to allow yourself the space, and really I think writing for me, especially on a print, can really solidify like the feeling you had maybe when you first made the photo. And then again, maybe years from then, you can look back and really feel what you felt, and then also feel what you feel then. Yeah, it's history. It's your own history. I don't consider myself a writer. I don't consider myself like a poet or, anything like that. But I do have feelings, and I like to write those out, When it comes to printing and how I try to really just blend that in with my lifestyle, I look at it as a form of meditation, as a form of being outside of myself for a moment, and again, not being so consumed with me or the things happening in life, but for a moment to step away and dedicate your time to a piece of time that you've created that for some reason, you spent time with and you made. So yeah, I think that we're all in search of peace somehow. We're all trying to find our own version of what that means, and I'm lucky to have found something that, keeps me grounded and keeps me somewhat, in the loop with what's going on here. But yeah, it makes sense.